Greetings and welcome back to Smartwatch Ticks. We're taking a look at the Kospet PRIME today because this little buddy has got an incredible battery life. I don't really have a chance to test battery life thoroughly, regularly. I just review so many different watches all the time. But this one, I gotta tell you, it's got the feel of being at least twice as long of a life as the standard Android watches we've reviewed in the past. Yet, when we did measurements in a previous review, it's not that much bigger. It's about the same thickness overall. It's about the same diameter. So what's the magic that's making this thing work with a 1260 milliamp hour battery as claimed by the specs? By the way, if you're interested in this one, pick it up from Gearbest using the show notes down below, and also check in the show notes of any of the videos you're interested in. We're coming up to the holiday buying season, and they're giving me precious links to give you guys to go in and shop for just about anything you want at 11.11. That's their special day in China, the 11.11 shopping spree. Of course, Black Friday and Cyber Monday and all of those things coming up toward the holidays. Good time to be picking these things up, and it really, really helps us out if you're looking at buying any of this tech if you use the links we have here to get started. All right, enough of the advertisement, right? Let's talk about this. What I'm going to do, I don't really want to go too far because, this is a precious little watch. I am going to turn it off. We're running at about 58% right now. We're going to turn it off and open up the back case and see how far we can get in there to take a look at this battery and see if it's designed differently than the others in the teardowns that we've done. Okay? So let's power down. The bottom button's the one that's in effect. I really wish on these, they would make these so they're programmable and you could press and hold and it would launch whatever program you assign to it. That's a request I've put in, and I'll verbalize it out to the masses right now. Let's get that. This is ineffective to have a non-functional button that does nothing. Of course, if you're into something, a tiny press will bring it back, but long press does nothing. We got to long press the top button, power down from here, and that'll shut it off. While it's doing that, we're going to remove the bands so it's going to be easier to work with the watch. You can see I've got my variety of instruments in front of me. Most importantly is a T4 type of screwdriver. Can you see the tip on that? Got a flashlight and a couple of other things to pry into it if we need to. Oh yeah, and if I drift off screen, yell at me, okay, to come back, because I'm going to be looking at the watch through this so I can really try to see what's going on. I try to estimate where the center of the camera is, but well, hopefully I'll keep it on screen for you. Here we go. We're going to undo these. Get a good start on them. You notice I'm not taking off the back here. Theoretically, it should just be a part of the overall full back, so it should come off right along with it when this whole back comes off. Okay, now that I've loosened them all, I'm going to twist them until I really know that they're off. I think that one already is. Okay. That way they don't go flying on me, which they always do anyway. I can see that one's off. Now, let's see if we can find a hook in here with my fingernail to get it up. Wow, okay. Okay, what I'm going to do is take the screws out individually, because when they go flying, if the back pops, it's going to go crazy. I should have put them in a square to match up with the holes that they go into, just so that if there's any threading issues, you don't wind up cross-threading or something. But as you can see, I didn't do that. Okay. It's not releasing, but you can see where it should be, all up along the edges. Yeah, that's it, the 4 screws. Okay, here we go. There, it snapped. All right, the battery is right on the top. But look, there's a ribbon cable attached to this whole back unit here. Wow! Wow. And there's, I guess that's a little vibration motor right there. The magnets for the magnetic charging cable, maybe? No, I don't know. The speaker's right there. The charger's down on this end, and that's all sitting in here. I don't know what those two things are, but there's two of them on that side too. So you see that down in there? There's four of those little things. And then there's an insulation plate, and here is the mega battery. That thing is huge, yeah. It's much thicker than what we're used to, it looks like. Now, without doing any damage, can this come off down there, the ribbon cable? No, it can't. It's secured underneath. And the battery itself doesn't have a lot of play to it. Let's come on this side. Ah, there. It was just stuck a little bit. Okay, there's a ribbon cable to the battery. Notice it's fully wrapped and no markings on it whatsoever. This is the unique, proprietary, I guess, battery. It goes through a ribbon cable down underneath there that slides underneath the case or inside of it. So it's not easy to just disconnect the battery and take it out. And on this end, it's attached inside the connecting aspect of the battery. So that's as far as I'm going to go with it. Here's some markings. YLD, can you read that? CGF22149B. Another ribbon cable there, and then it gets into the circuitry of the watch. What I am going to do off camera, though, is take some measurements of this battery so you guys know how big it is. Also, the way it's packed in here, as you know, sometimes these batteries will start to swell. And it looks like it's got a little bit of swell space. It's floating nicely in the middle there, so that if it were to expand a little bit, not a lot, but a little bit, it probably could do that without applying too much pressure inside of the watch. So I like that design as well. When they're sandwiched in between the different boards, the motherboard and other boards below, and they start to expand, they create all kinds of havoc, and you get a dead watch pretty quick. But this one's thick. It's definitely thicker than normal, and I think that's where the extra milliamps are coming from. I'll be back with the measurements. There you go. All right, the battery for the Kospet PRIME, lengthwise, the longest direction measures 36 millimeters, 29 millimeters wide, and just at 7.5 millimeters thick, floating in a little compartment here, right above the innards of the watch, but below the overall case. And I presume if you needed a little more thickness, you could always make the case just a tiny bit thicker to accommodate, which may be what they actually did to get this large of a battery in the watch. But that hopefully is the wave of the future, because this watch, amongst all of them, does have the best battery life. In other reviews of it, check the show notes, because I'm putting in the show notes or the comments, and other viewers are as well, putting some actual battery life numbers in there. But heavy load, heavy load, installing apps, doing GPS cycling, and using it regularly. I got a full 24, 25 hours out of it and still had 11% left. There's one reading for you. So lighter load than that should be a little longer battery life. And of course, just using it as a watch would give you a lot of life as well. Okay. One more thing. I may have showed you this in other videos, but I know you guys don't watch all the videos, so I want to show you this. Okay, I've put it all back together again and turned it on, because what I want to show you, I need to have it on and on the internet, so I'm connected to Wi-Fi. You guys own an Android watch? Any Android watch? All the way back to the beginning, pretty much? Have you checked the watch face server recently? You know, all the way to the end where you hit the little plus sign? Yeah, I know you were in there a long time ago and you saw maybe 50 different watch faces. Whoa, what is that? Something new. Not just something new. There are 100, 200, 300, I haven't counted them, new watch faces in here now. They're all sequential. They're all available. You just tap it. It'll say it's downloading, and it's now on the watch. We can look at it in a moment. I can scroll and just go through endless list of them, all kind of new ones. And the older ones that you were used to seeing, they're at the very, very end now. You got some nice digital ones here. You got some analog ones, colorful ones. I'm not going to belabor it because it just goes on and on. This is kind of a fun one here. Let's download those two and I'll show them to you. But what I recommend, oh, that one's a nice one too, is go grab your watch. Make sure you're on Wi-Fi and check out all these new watch faces. They're available. It's on the server, which, as long as your watch, when you go in and scroll through the thumbnails of your watch faces after pressing and holding, and you scroll to the far right, as long as you got that plus sign, and by the way, after you put them in, just to make sure, you should hit that little circle up there. That refreshes the overall memory of the faces, and just make sure everything is there. Here's one that we just put in. That's that first one. The other little round one that I said was kind of fun. It's got some shading, some light area down here. Good for nighttime if you want it dim. Remember, AMOLED screens use less power when they're displaying black because each pixel is active, and only when it's lit up is it using power. There. That is on the server. That's available to everybody, but you're seeing it on the Kospet Prime. And did you catch that? Air pressure relief point. I think Taco Bell contributed to this because A1 to Taco Bell for always having an air pressure relief point when they serve their beans. You've been watching Smartwatch Ticks. We're a YouTube channel on the web at smartwatchticks.com, and this watch, amongst many others, is available from Gearbest. We are moving into the holiday season. Check the show notes for a link to get it. Get a good coupon discount, and be ready to shop on the hot days, 11/11, Cyber Friday, and Happy Monday. I'll see you guys soon.